This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching our special show where we focus on your questions on COVID-19. Joining us, as always, a team of top medical experts who are here to answer your questions. Dr. Teja Lathia, consultant endocrinologist with Fortis and Apollo Hospitals, Navi Mumbai, is with us this afternoon. Dr. Joe George, senior consultant endocrinologist with EndoDiab Clinic in Calicut, is also with us, as is Dr. Nirmal Jaiswal. He's a consultant physician and intensivist, also the ICU director of the Shortech Hospital and Research Institute in Nagpur. It's great to have all of you with us this afternoon, and we hope we'll get lots of callers who will ask you specific questions also relating to your expertise. So we'd like to ask our callers, particularly if you have sort of the underlying conditions that are being flagged at this point, diabetes, hypertension, a previous heart history, then do call in and do pose those specific questions to our doctors. Of course, we'll be taking all your questions right here. Let's go right across to our callers. Amarjeet Kaur is with us from Noida. Amarjeet, what's your question?
My question is for cardiologist.
Yes.
This is about side effect of SCQS. I am under treatment for sarcoidosis and taking SCQC from last 6 months. Also, I am a PSVT patient. Will taking SCQC have some effects on my heart, or should I continue this?
Yeah, can I take it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, basically when you are, your body is tuned with the SCQS, I don't think so there is any harm in continuing that, because your primary disease is very important and this SCQS is controlling your disease. And if, that is a wiser thing to continue. The people who are having definitely heart disease, they are supposed to be very cautious as far as starting the SCQS, because it can cause the sudden death, which has been proven now.
All right. I hope that was the response that you were looking for. Sarita is with us from Hyderabad. Sarita, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
I have a 16 months of old baby,
Yes.
so I am feeding her. So what are the precautions I need to take? Because now in my area also there is a three members are there, which was caused of this coronavirus. So when I go outside and buying something, so every time I'm washing my hands and everything. But more, is there anything I need to take precautions? Because I have a 16
Right,
months
because you're feeding the baby. Dr. Teja Lathia, would you like to take that? Sarita's baby is 15 months old. She's still breastfeeding her. What advice would you give her?
I think, Ankita, she's already doing the right thing. Social distancing and hand washing, these are the two things which are going to protect both her and her baby. And I don't think she needs any other special precautions.
All right. Would any of the other doctors like to add anything?
She should be at home, the basic thing.
She should stay at home, you're saying. She shouldn't even
Yeah.
step out for getting essential supplies. Try and get someone else in the family to do that.
Yes, yes.
All
yes,
right.
yes.
Okay. Gurdesh Singh is with us on the phone line from Mumbai. Gurdesh, go ahead with your question.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My question is two-part. So we're trying to get everything delivered to our house, and I don't want to get completely paranoid. So how do we go about sanitizing these packages, and do we need to do it to every single package? And the second part of the question is on the same lines, but if we are getting food delivered, then how do we go about sanitizing that stuff, cold food and hot food? Any comments would be appreciated.
Yeah, I think, here the two parts. First is the delivered goods. So when you take the delivered goods, it can be infected, that is possible. So it will be obviously covered. So what you can do is that you can take the usual precautions, wash and take the product out from it, and then throw away the cover in a proper way. That is how you can protect yourself, and then wash your hands with the alcohol sanitizer or a soap and water. About the food, it's a difficult thing, because it's something that I also thought about. Once in this stage of stage 1 or stage 2, that may not be a major issue. But once the things go beyond that level to stage 3 or stage 4, the chance of even the food that we are getting even delivered, home delivered, being infected is a major issue. There we have one thing we can do is that we can classify the food into various classifications, like there can be fresh fruits and vegetables, cooked food, the vegetables that are being cooked. When you're cooking the food, it's very easy because cooking usually destroys the virus, and it's very easy. So once you cook it properly, the virus is gone and you are safe about it. And about the uncooked food, that is the fresh fruits and fresh vegetables that you're about to eat, the best thing that you can do is to wash it properly in a free-flowing running water with proper rubbing forcefully in the vegetables and fruits. And also those fruits which you can remove the outer cover or throw away the outer cover, that will also help you in that. Because one thing you have to remember is that using soap and water will kill the virus. The soap will kill the virus, but using the water itself will remove the virus from the fruit and vegetable, although it won't kill it.
Right. Let's get a couple more questions in before we take them back to the doctors. Ghulam Mohiuddin is calling from Kupwara. Ghulam, what's your question?
सर मेरा नाम है गुलाम मोहिउद्दीन. गुड आफ्टरनून मैम.
गुड आफ्टरनून.
मैं बिजली बोर्ड से हूँ. मेरी एसेंशियल सर्विस लगी हुई है
जी.
तो मुझे रोज जाना पड़ता है ऑफिस भी और फील्ड में भी और क्वारंटाइन सेंटर से भी बाहर भी मेरी ड्यूटी लगी हुई. मुझे कौन कौन चीज की प्रिकॉशन लेनी है कि मैं भी सिक्योर रहूं और मेरी फैमिली भी.
Okay, so I think again this is a question. There are many workers who are considered in that sense essential services personnel, including Ghulam Mohiuddin, who works with the electric board. I mean, there are many of us journalists who are also stepping out of our houses to come to work every single day. Are there any additional precautions we should be taking besides wearing masks, besides washing our hands frequently, which we're already doing?
Hello.
Dr. Jaiswal, would you like to take that?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Jaiswal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you like to take that?
The part which I understood, because
Yes.
I was offline in between. Basically, he should take care. He should wear the mask. That is the most important.
Yeah.
Maybe the what you call the surgical mask is very important for this sort of worker, because these people are going to visit so many places and they don't know which people are infected with the COVID, right? So at the same time, whichever the things they are touching, they also should keep the sanitizer with them at the particular site. As soon as they touch it or before touching it, they should wash their hands properly with the 6 steps, which is very, very important. Nail beds are very vulnerable to give the COVID-19.
All right. Ganesh Mahadevan is with us from Mumbai. Ganesh, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is, my wife is under menopause now. So, is there any effect on the immune system? Will the immunity level be down? And what precautions have to be taken during this time?
All right.
I don't think menopause is.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Tejal Lathe has a response to that. Go ahead.
So I don't think menopause particularly is going to cause any specific relation with coronavirus. But yes, as women cross over into menopause, they do gain a little bit of weight. Their risk of diabetes increases proportionally. So they need to be sure that she doesn't have diabetes. If she hasn't been screened before, I would strongly suggest getting screened for diabetes. But other than that, what are the usual measures which Dr. Jaiswal just discussed? I think those should be good enough for her.
All right.
Another thing is all over the world there is male is almost like more vulnerable as compared to the female. So females are having the little bit age over not to have the corona.
Right. Prabha has a similar question. Prabha is joining us from Kolkata. Prabha, go ahead.
My question is that people, you all always say that if a person suspects that he or she has any symptoms, they should immediately go to the health provider and get checked up for coronavirus. But how does one go when everything is under lockdown? It's not possible to go, no? And private hospitals will not entertain us. Only the government hospitals will entertain us, and government hospitals are few and far, they're very far to reach and no public transport.
Right. I think a lot of a lot of doctors on our show have also been advocating self-treating, isolating and, just riding it out unless your symptoms get very severe. And presumably, Dr. George, if you'd like to take that, what would you suggest in a situation like this?
See, I don't know the condition in Kolkata, but here what we have helpline numbers with most of the private hospitals and also the government system. There is a helpline number which is there in the collectorate. So you can contact them directly. They will help you in how to go about with the symptoms and also what are the things to be taken care of. They can connect you to a doctor, or you can even have a telemedicine consultation with the doctor, which is available now everywhere. I don't know exactly about Kolkata or West Bengal, but here it's available. So that help can be taken if available. Even otherwise, one thing you have to be 100% sure about is that COVID-19 is not a serious illness for every person. Most of the time, in 80%, it just comes off as a small flu-like illness and it goes away. So even if you are having, by unfortunate situation, you are having COVID-19 also, in the early phase of infection, what you have to do is the same thing. You have to quarantine yourself and see that the infection doesn't spread to others, especially your family members and outside society. So that universal precautions which already been mentioned has to be taken care of, and then I think that should be enough. And most of the time these infections go off by itself in 10 to 14 days if it's mild. If you are going on to develop severe symptoms, then that's the time then you need to actually go to the hospital and meet the doctor. So I think the helpline number should be very helpful for you.
All right. Ejaz Ahmed is calling us from Srinagar, and Ejaz, I believe you have some of these underlying conditions that we keep hearing about. What's your question? Go ahead.
Dr. Saab, good afternoon. My question is, I am diabetic and this hypertensive for last 20 years. So I continue to go to my office, but since there is a rise in corona cases in Valley, so I am holding a senior government post. What shall I do? Shall I continue to go to office, or shall I restrict my movement and stay back at home and operate from home only?
All right. Dr. Jaiswal, would you like to take that?
Yeah, I think he has the one very much vulnerable comorbidity, that is diabetes mellitus. So what I feel, he should be at home. Being a senior, he can take that permission from the head offices, and he should be at home. And he should control his sugar very nicely. He should do some exercises in the morning, because these people definitely follows the doctor's advice to go early in the morning walk, or maybe they do yoga. So they should continue at home, maybe on a treadmill at home or yoga at home. And he should keep a track on his diabetes. That is the most important thing.
So when we say keep a track, and Dr. Latia, if you also want to come in on this, would you advocate just checking blood sugar regularly, continuing to keep up with exercise in some form or another, even if you can't necessarily go for a walk because the lockdown is in process still? What are your if you had to give a list of the top 5 things that you would advise any diabetes patient at this point, what would those be?
Hello.
So as Dr. Jaiswal already said, if possible, stay at home. Now, because he's a senior government functionary, it's very difficult for me to comment on his job. But yes, definitely staying home would help. Having adequate stock of your medicines. If you're on insulin, then having enough insulin, blood glucose testing strips, insulin syringes, needles, all of that should be there in the house. I'm not recommending stockpiling for months on end, but at least a few weeks worth of medicines should be there. Patients must check their blood sugars every day, at least in this season, in the sense that patients who are taking multiple oral drugs, are on multiple shots of insulin, need to check their blood glucose at least 2 to 3 times a day. If they're only on oral drugs and they're well controlled, then maybe once or twice a day or once every 2 to 3 days would be good. If they show any symptoms at all, then these patients must definitely consult their healthcare provider at the earliest. Because in these patients, we would prefer that they're supervised, and at any hint of worsening of their condition, they can immediately be upgraded to intensive care settings. And these are the 3-4 things that I would really strongly advocate for my patients. Yes, and last is to stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. And as you said that in the lockdown, they can't go outside, walking 15 to 20 minutes, maybe in the house 3 or 4 times a day would be good enough, rather than a 60-minute walk, which they may have been doing before this.
Right. Dr. George, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, one thing I feel he is having a doubt is about, in case he is not able to work from home, should he be wearing mask while he is traveling? So what I would suggest is that if his office and the scenarios where he is working is not permitting safe distancing of 2 meters, I think he can wear mask as a protective thing. That's one other thing that I would feel safe for him.
All right. Farooq Shah is with us from Srinagar. Farooq, what's your question?
Yeah, good afternoon, NDTV, and good afternoon, panel of doctors. And thank you, NDTV, for producing such a wonderful show.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Is the continuous washing of hands is turning the hands pretty dry. Is it safe to apply a moisturizing cream or glycerine on the hands after washing them?
All right. I think that's something we'd all want to know the answers to. I think we all have excessively dry hands right now from all the washing. So, I think it's important because, yes, once you've washed it, if you use some kind of emollient, either a moisturizer, does that open you up to germs once again? Do your hands have to stay dry after being washed?
No, that's not necessary actually. See, when you are remaining at home, you don't have to wash it excessively, or you don't have to wash it like every 30 minutes or 1 hour. Washing frequently is recommended to those people who are going out. If you are locked down and remaining in your home environment with your family, and there is no chance of infection there, then you don't have to wash every half an hour or 1 hour. Okay. So when you are moving out, you are in a situation where you can contact the virus from the door knobs or from the materials that you're touching. That's the time when you have to be more careful, and you should be washing, or if soap and water is not available, you should be using an alcohol sanitizer. So in those cases, even if your scenario is like that, you are going out frequently and you are in a job where you have to move out frequently and you are not able to walk, and your hands you are washing hands frequently, then using a moisturizing is okay, and I feel that should be safe.
All right. Vijay is calling us from Bengaluru. Vijay, what's your question?
Hi, Ankita. Good afternoon. My question is related to the virus load. Like, I've been hearing that, the virus load from one person to another person once they get affected. So I want to understand, how does that work? Like, is it based on the immune system, or how does it actually, work?
Dr. Jaiswal, would you like to take that?
Yeah, something like a viral load is a very important as far as the spreading the infection is concerned. So in the first week, it is very, very vulnerable because the viral load during this incubation period is very, very high. So, sorry, I'm disconnected.
No, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. It is very important in a first few days, maybe a week down the line. You should be very much careful. You should keep the safe distancing in that. From the patient who has got a sneezing, who has got a coughing, he should be exactly what you people are doing by the advertising the what you call the respiratory etiquettes, what we call it as nowadays. So even if they have the cough, you should remain away almost 3 to 6 feet away from that patient, so that you cannot get that particular virus if the patient has carrying unknowingly the COVID virus in his body.
I think an added aspect to this, and Dr. Tejal Lathia, if you want to, talk about this, there is this sense that this viral load can in fact continue even after a patient tests negative. And the WHO actually talks about home isolation or home quarantine for an additional 14 days for that reason. So is that something we need to be aware about?
There are two things to this. One is that sometimes the incubation period of the virus also can last up to about even 14 days. And in some cases, 21 days has been documented. So yes, that is true that the quarantine has to be for a minimum of 14 days. And yes, some studies have shown that the virus is in a dormant stage in the body in spite of the tests being negative, and there can be a recrudescence of the infection after a few days. So I think for those people who are not part of essential services, a quarantine or self-isolation as long as possible would be the best thing for everybody to prevent spread of infection in the community further.
Right. Dr. George, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, see, the data shows that after the person is negative for RT-PCR, that is the way we test for the virus, still the patient can continue excreting the virus. That's the reason why people or even the healthcare professionals advise 14-day further quarantine for people who are recovered from COVID. But there is one problem with it. It is that virus that is being shed, whether that could be effective is not yet proven. So the infectivity should be definitely less than a person who is in the early phase of the illness where he is actively shedding infective virus. So that is one good thing about it. But still, as Dr. Tejal has said, the person should continue quarantine for at least a minimum period of 14 more days.
All right. Kamla D'Souza is with us from Mumbai. Kamla, go ahead.
A very good afternoon to all on the panel. My question is, I am a senior citizen and I have heart-related problems, and I've been following your channel very closely. On one of the channels, I heard that to increase your immune system, you could have star lime or turmeric powder or garlic, and you can gargle your throat with hot water. Does it really help? I would like to know.
Increasing immunity is definitely when you have fresh fruits and vegetables, you're improving the immunity because vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, that would definitely help in improving immunity. Turmeric and other things which you have mentioned, also it's known to improve the immunity that you can have, but in the reasonable amount. I advise you to take excess of any of these things because anything which is taken in excess can be dangerous, especially if you are having heart problems. So that is there. And gargling with hot water, I'm not sure whether, because if you're sitting at home locked down and if your infection risk is less, just gargling won't be of any benefit. But if you're having some throat discomfort, you can do that. The gargling doesn't do any harm to it. And also you should understand that hot water, it should, what is the temperature of hot water? When you look at the virus survivability, it is seen that the virus can survive in moderate hot water like 40-45 degrees. It is said that at 40 degrees Celsius, the virus for a period of around 6 hours. And at 66 degrees, it's been documented that the virus can die in 15 minutes.
Right.
So hot water, when you're using for gargling, I don't think you can use that temperature as high as to kill the virus. The only thing is you can just gargle and spit it out so that if there's any virus that can go out, that's the benefit that can be possibly there.
All right. We have time, I think, for just one last question before we wrap this up. Tanveer Ahmed calling us from Nagpur. Tanveer, what's your question?
Madam, I am using water ionizer, which produce 2.5 pH of water. Can it be used as a sanitizer? And another question, it also produces the water of 9 pH. Can it, while drinking 9 pH of water, can it improve our immunity system to fight against COVID-19?
All right. Who would like to take that? I have to say this is an unusual one.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Do I need that? Yeah. 1 pH of water, I'm really worried because as I understand, hydrochloric acid is 2 pH. So 2.5 pH is dangerous for the body. I don't know how he's able to prepare and drink it. It should be dangerous, so I would advise him to avoid it. And alkaline water also. I think when you're drinking water, you should be safe, drinking safe water. That is it, rather than trying methods that are not yet proven scientifically. I don't overtry things. Don't be in a panic. What you should do is the things which the government has advised you, and that should be enough for you. And when you need any particular help, when you are having any infection or any signs of infection, you should contact the healthcare provider. That is what you should do. Try things which are not scientifically proven.
Yes, I think it's very important at this point to keep stressing that perhaps people shouldn't panic, because I think there is a lot of panic out there. And Dr. Jaiswal, you know, you're an intensivist, you know, you're part of the ICU unit also, so you probably see some extreme cases. But by and large, isn't it important also to stress that people are recovering from COVID-19 also? Yes. Many of them are. And what would be your message to our viewers right now?
Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands every time, now and then. Don't touch anything which is suspicious, maybe your lifts, maybe your door. I would like to add something to it, suggest if you are staying in a flat area, in that particularly in your society, get the permission or compel the people, get the something like wash basin and the soap water just by the side of your lift, so that you can go without virus in your home. That is what I would like to say to the people.
Right. All right. We'll leave it at that. today. Thanks very much indeed, all three of you, for joining us and answering that range of questions from our viewers. And of course, we'll be back at 7:30 and again at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning to answer all your questions. Our medical experts will be joining us once again. So do stay tuned.